a few miles south of the Wisconsin border. '17th year on tour, trying to get back in the winner's circle. Throwing that ball hard. Flamethrower, right?
Oh yeah, we call him slinger, flamethrower. You know about Dave Traber.
Pin in the gutter, Kirk.
The one thing you have to say about Dave Traber is that, you know, even though he likes to go straight, he's very good at what he does. We call him slinger, flamethrower. We call him lots of things.
Some you can, some you can't mention here on TV. Your road roommate on the PBA Tour.
My new nickname for him is Pine Tar.
Because?
Well, what he does when he gets into match plays, he takes a bowling ball and he sands it with about 120 sandpaper grit, which is very, very coarse. The ball looks like a piece of charcoal, and he burns up the outside part of the lane to give him a little advantage.
Only left in the show is 46-year-old Hugh Miller in the pocket. And a great start for him.
Hugh told me last night he has to keep the ball in between the first and second arrow on the left side part of the lane. The other thing he has to do is he has to keep his hand underneath the ball to keep it from changing direction too hard.
Very good week for him. I'd like to increase that strike percentage. The championship round, hoping to bowl in and win 2 matches. And take home his 11th career title. Oh, wow. Tough split.
Ouch.
Ball cuts right through the heart, leaving the 4-6-10. There's only one thing to do here, throw it really hard at these 2 pins, hope one of them comes out, takes care of the 4-pin.
Leaves the 4 for an open early, but it is early if you're going to have one. Now's the time to do it.
Well, if you're going to have one, you hope it's only one, and you hope it's real early. This guy's going to bring the high, hard heat from right around the first arrow. Traber's worked very hard the last 3 weeks with not only myself, but with Tim Chris.
Almost coming in a little high, but
I'll
he'll
take
gladly
anything. I don't care.
take the break. You heard it from him himself.
Oh, yeah. You ought to hear him when we're in the room. That was a great tease. As you see, the strike percentage. Traber had the highest strike percentage this week. What I was going to say was you ought to hear him in the room when we're playing Yahtzee. We do a little gambling with Yahtzee. Very small.
I understand those are high-stakes games.
No, very, very small. But you ought to hear him when he gets a Yahtzee. It's the same thing.
That comes in light. Just missed it.
Yeah, and he didn't take advantage of a really good break that he got in the second frame. Gets this ball right. There's not a lot of friction to the right. He's got to go straight, much straighter than that because of how hard he throws it. Not enough friction created to get that ball to hook up to the 1-3 pocket.
Beautiful mark, Dave Traber.
All right, you know what he needs to do now is take a real deep breath and just back her down a notch. You got to get the ball to the left side of the head pin and throw it over in the 10. He did it perfect. He knows by making that washout, he's still ahead in the match.
His very words a moment ago: settle, relax. Back to the left. Misses the pocket.
Easy spare.
Great start on TV for Hugh Miller. 4 for 4. His victory in Japan, one of the 2 events overseas, broke a long streak, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast. A decade without a tour win for Hugh Miller.
That was black and white TV back then, wasn't it?
I think it might have been. Leaves the 10, another open.
Oh, man.
Well, you want to try to cover all 4 pins of the ball, and that ball didn't get far enough to the right. It's close to making it.
I'll go right now.
The door opens a little wider for Dave Traber. 27, that's the pocket. His win at the Shin Yokohama Prince Hotel Bowling Center in Japan was a 2-game total pin count.
Again, you know, it's the same on the left side as it is on the right. You have to make good shots. There's no freebies. You can't throw the ball all over the lane. Hugh dodged bullets all week long. He just grinded and gutted it out to get to this point.
Speaking of dodging bullets, Dave Traber, your roommate, barely made it into the round of 32.
Qualified 32nd.
How about that?
The #1 seed, Brian Kretzer, and Dave carried his equipment out to his truck. Found out he made it and had to bring all his equipment back in. The key for Dave is he's got to keep his hand underneath, but a little on the side on the way back. That keeps his hand underneath, keeps him from over grabbing it. Carried all his stuff out to the truck, brought it all back in.
There you go. Yeah.
He knew it. Found out he made it. Bowled the #1 seed, Brian Kretzer, and sweeps him in 4 games.
That's what we're talking about right there.
Very good week for Hugh Miller. 10-5 in match play, a .210 average on this oil pattern. Strikes on lane 26.
So what you're seeing here is a little bit to the left of target is okay. That gets the ball into the switch zone, light pocket. A little bit further to the left, the ball doesn't hit the head pin at all. So you see what Hugh's done this week. Last match going 3-0.
We should mention you had a 300 game this week. Got yourself into the round at 16 before running into Pete Weber.
Ran into Pete. Pete took care of me the old-fashioned way. Good shot there.
After a couple of opens, a 3-bagger for Hugh Miller.
Yes.
And he has 4 strikes in 6 frames. How much will the open frames hurt him later in the match? We'll find out. Randy's roommate, Dave Traber, trying to get back to the winner's circle. First time in a long time. He faces a lefty when we continue. .com. Log on to the game's best site for tickets. Also, some regional information for you in Reno. Continuing this semifinal. Randy, at this point, halfway through the match, for Miller being the only lefty, the oil pattern, how is it affected? How does it change his game at all?
Well, I don't. Usually it would be it just depends on how tough or how easy the lanes are. If their lanes are good, they stay better longer on the left.